Okay, so a lot of my ladies come to me and they are incredibly stressed. Now, part of that reason is just because of daily life, but another big part is that if you're struggling with fertility, it naturally increases your stress. Now, I guess the catch-22 with that is that if you have more stress in your life, then that can affect your fertility. So everything becomes then a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is not really something that we're wanting to get into. We want to work against the stress, if anything. So what happens is when you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, and that then interferes with the reproductive hormones. So for example, some of the key ones are estrogen and progesterone, which we know are very often out of balance in a lot of the fertility problems that we are working with on a daily basis. Now that imbalance then makes it harder to ovulate regularly and to maintain a healthy menstrual cycle. So to counteract that, if you can implement some stress reducing practices into your life, then you are starting to improve all sorts of different elements of your fertility. So for example, what you'll read on the internet is do some yoga or do some meditation. However, I know from personal experience and also from dealing with ladies over, I was about to say hundreds of years, I mean hundreds of ladies over countless years, it's not that easy to do. You know, if you could do that, then you would naturally. And so what we need to do is to teach you how to tap into that stress reduction ability that we do all have, but it's knowing how to access it. Now, some of the reasons that you might want to think about giving that a go is that stress can delay ovulation. Okay, so that is a bit of an issue because if you have too much time there in the first part of your ovulation cycle and before you get your ovulation, that can lead to all kinds of fertility issues. It can even stop and delay your ovulation altogether, can stress. And then obviously that makes it more difficult to conceive, but it also makes it more difficult to pinpoint your fertile window. Now also stress, it's the same part of your brain that deals with stress that deals with fertility and relaxation, okay? So you can see now why stress reduces your libido. And whilst we might have to do it at certain times, it's always a lot more fun and I would argue a lot more effective for fertility if you're actually enjoying that process and that intimacy with your partner. Now, also stress impacts egg and sperm quality. How about that? Because we talk about the fertility bandwidth. And if you don't have enough energy to create cells that are healthy, when they reproduce, they're reproducing as a copy of what was there before. And if that's substandard, then the ones that you're reproducing are not going to be of a great quality either. And so that not only affects your conception ability, but also your risk of miscarriage. So you can see how by doing some of the things that we do in the program ahead of time, not only helps you to conceive, but for you to carry a healthy baby long term, because we're improving that egg and that sperm quality. Now, also another impact of stress on your fertility is that it prevents proper blood flow, because you know if you're tense like this, nothing is flowing as it should do, and then that affects your reproductive organs as well. Now, your body needs blood to have your reproductive organs working properly, and if you're in fight or flight mode, that's directing the blood flow to the critical organs that you actually need for survival, as opposed to reproductive, which you don't need for survival. So you can see how this could really make a big difference. And so it is worth trying to learn how to reduce your stress and how to relax, rather than just saying it's not something that I'm able to do, it doesn't come naturally. Because to be sure, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of us, but that isn't to say that actually you'd probably surprise yourself that you can do this when you understand why you need to.